Peace, peace. All right, so this is the next degree now we at. We're going to apply all of 120 to various things to give you an experience of other people's C on 120. Also, how to make it apply to today, like what's happening right now. Like, how do you govern yourself? How do you travel, as you encountering other cultures, creeds, people, whatever have you, right? So, okay, I'll just look at one scenario. You walk in a room, you know in your head, 85% of the people in that room don't know. 10% of the people in that room is probably running the things. And then you got 5%, which is usually neutral until anything is activated. Because nothing is absolute. So that's just like saying, oh, 70% of the Europeans in America are racist. 30% of them are not racist. But that all depends on where you're at, because of absolutes, it could flip the other way and could be 70% might in the room could be non-racist and 30% could be racist. You have to adjust, just like you can see the 5, the 10, and the 85 as you manifest, and then you can also see the 30% satisfied and the 70% dissatisfied, or vice versa. 70% dissatisfied, 30% satisfied. So, once you see that, you're able to make moves on a level of you walking in this place and you saying, almost everybody in here doesn't know what's going on. So no use me asking these fools. Let me find out who's running shit. The 10% running shit. So if I'm going for employment, usually you don't know it, but you're probably employed by the 10%. More than likely, the 10% is unless you own your own business, and then you probably might be using the 10% to import, export whatever your goods, or you buying them wholesale, and eventually the wholesalers might be people from other places or whatever. At the end of the day, when they start using Federal Reserve notes, they fall right in the hands of the 10%. They're not the 10%, but the 10% is pretty much running your shit. Because the Federal Reserve notes is like one of their major hits as being a 10%, is to be in control of the monetary system. Federal Reserve notes is not backed by anything. We went through that story already, 1933. All right, go back and look at that video if you haven't seen that one. Then think of FDR, the New Deal, the suspension of the Constitution, Dr. Gene Schroeder, War Powers Act. Go right there. And the other people who they're underground, and once you tap into one of them, if you tap into Gene Schroeder, that's pretty much constitutional law. You could go to the law library your own self and look up the statutes and the executive orders and the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. You can go look that up. Just go buy Black's Law Dictionary. But anyway, we getting back to the subject matter. So, how do you apply it to like right now? Okay, let's go with right now. Right now, you need a trade or a profession, or being OR with the slash AND. So you could have a trade and a profession. You feel me? All right. So you already know that. That is a degree that you can apply to right now. Today, you can say, damn, I didn't know I needed a trade or a profession. All right, let me go get one of those. Right? Or maybe you already have one and didn't know you had it. You might not be certified by the devil, but you might have it anyway. You could go get those letters and certifications and licenses and whatever else we have to travel with, as you would understand that under the War Powers Act. You feel me? All right, all those that have already did the knowledge on dropping their slave name and all that, they know about the War Powers Act, or they should know. It's in the package. It just depends on what degree you go in and how you apply it. You might say, well, I'm going to apply what's happening right now. My family is sick. Looks like we all going to have diabetes, yada, 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 whatever. High blood pressure, diabetes, kidney failure. That's what you mostly see right now, beside cancer and heart attacks and, the other shit that we used to take for normal, based on our dietary law. But anyway, it wasn't at the level it is now. Children got diabetes. What kind of crazy shit is that? So anyway, you might say, well, um, How to Eat to Live, book 1 and book 2. That's the actual hit. But say you knowledge yourself on the Hebrew side. So you go right to Deuteronomy and Leviticus. You feel me? That dietary, we not eating like that nowadays as a people. Get the fuck out of here. We eating nowhere near Deuteronomy and Leviticus. First of all, if you was eating Deuteronomy and Leviticus, you couldn't even buy any of the animals from the grocery store that's in your neighborhood. You couldn't buy those. You don't know what they are. Monsanto, clones, it's a whole lot of shit it could be. Old meat, Monsanto, that alone will kill you. Because if it's Monsanto, then it could be anything from clones to, it could be clone meat to beaten down, tortured while their whole life. And it's just so many horrendous things they do to the animals before they let you get to them and eat them. They already went through all their Baal worship and everything if you coming from that side. You feel me? That's where it fits. When you do the knowledge, you say, okay, where does it fit in which file? You have to have your file system set up so that you have a base of operation from. So if you're going to operate from the Bible base, then you might say, I'm not going to just go operate from the Bible base with just New Testament. I'm going to use the Bible, the whole thing, because it just doesn't move right when you roll in Hebrew that you don't use the whole thing. Now, of course, the Christians be using the top part. They don't use the bottom part. And when I say the Christians, I use that word loosely. All right. Basically, with Roman Catholic, Protestant, all the different Christians that came out of England, those different groups, King Henry VIII, and Wycliffe and the rest of them guys, Angelica and that lady, all right. That, and then the Spaniards and all of them, they mostly Catholic still. That's still the Catholic, the Roman Catholic Church, and you got the split between the Orthodox and the Catholics, okay. Those denominations, those faiths, they mostly use the New Testament, right? So, we not gonna go with what they using, because what they using is getting us killed. You feel me? Everybody, if you go and look at, I bet you from $1 to a donut that every one of those cops that killed those people that did not have a weapon, and I bet you they was all cops, they was all Christian. I guarantee you they was Christian. Not only was they Christian, the people who were the jury who acquitted those cops, I bet you they all Christian too. Trust me, they are. And they from those denominations I just said, supra. Okay? Before. What I just said before, that's from them. Now, if you go back and you go to Jim Crow and you look who made those laws, them senators and them representatives wrote those laws, and I bet you could go pull all of those laws and see who presented the bill. And then you could find out also who help them write it up and all of that by looking at their lobbyists and all. They got all those copial records, as that Moore used to say. So they'll have that, and you could go look at that yourself and see. And I guarantee you, they're all European Christians. That's my word is fucking bond. And if they ain't all European Christians, they still adhere to European Christianity. You feel me? It's like that. Now you gotta see shit from that perspective, because you gotta know what you're dealing with. The foundation to their colonization was Christianity, my nigga. You didn't get that part? Look at it. It got a beginning and an ending. It has a beginning date. You feel me? What it is we mix their Christianity with the Hebrew Messiah, and we make it like it's one and it's really all together. They trick you. See, the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. That's how they do it. All right, so and I'm out. Peace.